Hi, welcome back to 100 Days of Nice. The nurturing self talk of the day is create your heaven on earth. Have you ever had an experience where you were like, this is what heaven must feel like? For me, I have those experiences when I am on the beach. In my life in Hawaii, I felt like I was in heaven multiple times a week. There were certain beaches too, like I like being in isolated spaces. I don't like the crowd and all of that stuff. And there were like the secret or the hidden or the local beaches where a lot of the tourists wouldn't go to, and you could have the space and the privacy you needed and just like enjoy the nature and not have to be bumping into people or whatever. So I had those experiences often. And also, when I go back home to Turks and Caicos or Puerto Rico to visit family, I have those experiences as well. We are all being called to stay at home. So I was like, my home needs to feel like a piece of heaven on earth. And each of us has the power to create, each of us has the power to transform. And I wanted to redirect that power into allowing my home, which I'm having to spend literally every second in, unless I'm going to the grocery store, on allowing it to feel heavenly for me. And so, and us, because I live with my spouse and children. So I've been focusing on that. The integrity practice has been decluttering, cleaning, creating order. I don't have any interior design style or skill. My office was designed by a friend and my sister, and so this is like I actually have like a look going, but the rest of my house is blah. Like so I have intentionally been trying to make it look beautiful and something that's actually pleasurable to be in, but not only focusing on the sense of sight, which is, like visually aesthetic, but also sound. I've been intentionally playing more music and playing different types of music at different times of the day. So, like in the morning, more upbeat music to get our energy levels up, and like, as we're the kind of like cooking breakfast or like eating and things like that. And then like towards the evening, kind of the more soothing and like relaxing sounds when we're doing the bath times and getting ready for bed, but just using the sense of sound as well to help us control the atmosphere and control what emotional states we move into. And music is a very well known method of being able to shift your emotional state. So, using that to help me feel like, okay, I'm in a heavenly space. And heavenly is a fluid concept. Like, sometimes what's heavenly to me is being like very energetic and bright and warm and just lively. And other times, what feels heavenly is like being cool and wrapped up under a very soft blanket while I'm like sipping on some hot tea. Like there's different um based on our needs, like what is heavenly to us in a particular moment can change. So keeping your mind open to that as well. Heaven as a construct isn't a one way type of thing, even for just one person. Also like taste, so also making sure I went grocery shopping, making sure like we were stocked up on our like favorite ingredients so that when we're cooking we're able to add like the flavors that we like, and have the teas or the drinks and the honey and just the things that we enjoy so that we can use our sense of taste as well to help us experience more pleasure throughout the day, and all the other senses. So just think about your senses, and if you're interested in this, and think about how can I add that into my experience of heavenly, because we experience through more than just our vision. It's also through our sense of touch, taste, sound, etc., etc., etc. So the C, I've had to recommit to this recording process. I've continued the nice process in my writing through my journal. I have not been up to recording every day, but I'm recommitting to it. So I want to get caught up with my videos. I will have compassion for myself. I will not beat myself up. There have been a lot of things that's been going on, and I am proud of myself for maintaining my commitment to those things because they are also important. Um, and I'm also glad that I'm recommitting to this process because this is important to me. The compliment of the day, I want to compliment myself for protecting my energy. If you've noticed, like my most recent videos have kind of been like kind of, feeling low energy, kind of feeling down and overwhelmed and all of these things. And for good reason. Many of us are battling that now, and I've been intentionally protecting my energy by limiting my consumption of the news, limiting um, the media's access to me. So I've had to like disable a lot of my notifications so that I am informed on what is important for me to research when I choose to go and learn about it. Like, oh, okay, now I'm in a space where I want to know, like, what's the trajectory looking like? What are the numbers looking like? Have there been any changes in the policies? Things like that. That's something that I'm like, okay, I'm in a mental space where I'm ready to and I'm prepared to receive and process that information versus before I was getting all these push notifications and I'm trying to do one thing and then I'm just like, oh, blah, and X number of new cases and X number of blah, blah, blah. I was noticing that I was being continuously bombarded with that information when it wasn't through my phone, it was through my computer or even through the television. Um, and I was not in a place where I was prepared to process that information, or I was trying to feed myself and re-energize myself, and I was there with the intention of re-energizing, but instead my energy was being pulled and sucked up by the way a lot of this information is being presented to us, which does tend to trigger panic and anxiety and fear and all of those things. So I recognize I need to be in a particular state of mind to be able to receive and process this information. I need to be in control of when that happens. So that's one thing that I did, and I'd like to share that as a possibility for you to try if you notice yourself like having a hard time of protecting your energy. It is important for us to be informed. It's also important for us to be in control of when we receive that information so that we could be in a place where we're ready to process that information versus kind of being taken off guard by it. And yeah, so that I've been doing a good job protecting my energy. It's been multiple days in a row where I have been feeling more like myself. And I definitely think it has to do with being more of a gatekeeper of what is taking up space in my mind and in my heart. So, the emotional intelligence, I have felt very loved. I feel very loved today, and I am also very grateful. Um, yeah, and that circles back to like creating the heaven on earth. I am very grateful that I am and I have a family where we love each other, we pour love into each other, we express more affection than we express, you know, like we do get on each other's last nerves. And we do. And we do bicker and we do argue and we love each other and we're affectionate with each other and we compliment each other and we support each other so much more often than what was previously stated. And I'm so grateful that that is the situation I'm in right now because my heart has been also going out to many of those that I know that is not the case. Some people are being forced to stay in a home where it's definitely not a slice of heaven on earth. It's it feels a little bit more like hell on earth, and my heart has been going out to them. I've been and I want to share some resources with you. I'm going to put them in the description box, some like hotline numbers if you know of anyone that is experiencing domestic violence during these times, or if there's any thoughts of suicide or things along those lines. There are so many people that are suffering now more than ever that are not in safe or loving spaces, and before going to work or going to school was an escape from the abuse and the neglect that they suffered in their homes. So I want to share those resources with you if you may find yourself in that situation, or if you know someone that's reached out to you that is experiencing that right now. So I am grateful that that is not the experience that I have created, or for my children, or that I am experiencing for myself. I'm very grateful that I'm feeling loved and supported and cared for now. So let's all do our part to create little slices of heaven in our spaces, in our atmospheres, in our homes, um, so that when someone that has been experiencing a little bit of hell on earth, or a lot of bit of hell on earth, that you're able to show them life on earth can look very different, and share these resources in the description box with them. There are people whose life calling and purpose is to help support you into a different experience. So take care, be nice to yourself, and allow that kindness to overflow into others. See you soon.